Okay, this day is just extremely boring for me and frustrating as well. So it's 3:41 p.m. and my car is still in the shop. They're, trying to get the right parts for my car, and I'm just frustrated because, I'm missing days of work, and I want to make sure that I'll get to work tomorrow sometime. And there's really no guarantee. And this is the kind of thing that frustrates me because a person should have the control over their life to make those sort of, you know, changes. Like, for example, I, number one, would have never chosen to work part-time. And number two, Karen Johnson's not paying my bills. Should she? Yeah. If Steven's mother, Lyles's mother, is responsible for this, she should be coughing up the payments, but does she? No. Okay. So they basically leave you to shoulder the burden for something you had nothing to do with. So fuck these people. Anyway, so I just was thinking, today, because excuse me for making 3 videos today, but I have nothing to do, okay? And I'm trying to figure out how much is this going to sit here and gouge me for getting my car fixed. And, I'm just tired of this bullshit. But, the thing is that these people want to direct me, and I already know what I needed to do in order to accomplish my goal. These people put my house under surveillance. My house was under surveillance. I don't know exactly when or how long my house had been under surveillance when I was living over with Joel, my husband, my ex-husband. But I noticed that there was a correlation between some of the things that I would say in the house, and then when I was working over at the prosthetic place or whatever, things were kind of mimicked. And I realized that my house was under surveillance at that time. So this was quite alarming to me. So everything that I would sit there and talk to Joel about was being communicated through some of these people. And they would act on it. Like, for example, I constantly said before in the past that I didn't like working for medical places, okay? So they make sure that you work for a medical place or something that's affiliated for medical work. Whatever you don't want to do, they want to make sure that you have this. These people wanted to kind of act as if they knew how to direct my step when I never asked them for their direction, okay? Now, obviously, I will never be able to become a SEAT certified public accountant ever, okay? Because at this point, my ability to pick myself up and resume my, any sort of effort towards it, to me, it just seems pointless. I'm already 48 years old. So the time that they took from me to reach this goal, they pretty much absorbed all the years of me wanting to accomplish this goal with their stupid, and I'm the kind of person, I need to constantly stay in a certain position in order for me to feel motivated to continually go on. I need to make sure, me to feel as though that's a possible thing to do, and they constantly just sabotaged everything I even cared about. So that was the only thing I really cared about. That was the only thing I had in my life to direct my focus on. And they decided to stomp it out. So you can tell I'm extremely depressed about that. I have nothing in my life anymore at all. So I hate them for that. Anyway, but they were constantly trying to feed me this bullshit about, the bachelor's degree. Here's the thing about that. I had interviewed with a lady, and I think she was a part of the gang stalking thing, but she kind of wanted me to know that they were fucking around with my employment because she was telling me, now what I wanted to do was I wanted to work in a CPA's office. That was one of my options. I could think, okay, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. I wanted to work in a certified public accountant's office while working towards my bachelor's degree so that I can get credit, and they could also evaluate my work or whatever while I was working towards this goal, which is there's different ways how people accomplish their goal, okay? In order to be a certified public accountant, you have to have a bachelor's degree. There is no way around it because a certified public accountant is a licensed professional. Okay, they are a licensed professional. But, I've known people who worked in CPA offices that didn't. Like, for example, they might run the office. They might, take clients' calls. Some of them do light reconciliation work, but they're not accountants. They're just... So this particular lady was exactly that. She was basically saying that she she got the job right out of high school. And I was like, yeah, I'm aware of this, okay? And then I think some people were trying to put their input. Well, anyway, while I was at the job interview, she was trying to let me know that she was telling me the story of how she got her job. And she was kind of trying to let me know that, like, let this sink in. Somebody's messing with you. They're messing with your life, your goals, and everything. And I was upset about it. And this is back in, I think, 2014, 2015, somewhere around there. I was very upset about it. I mean, I was like on the verge of just literally breaking down because I was upset because they don't realize that that's the only way I have to take care of myself. I don't have any other way. I don't have any other skills. I've been devoting my skills to accounting for 20 something years. That's all I've known. There's several, people who work in accounting who started working right out of high school. And there's several people who work here in this town. But for whatever reason, these people wanted to shove college up my ass constantly. And, I understand, to be a certified public accountant, to be a nurse, to have certain licensing, that is required, okay? I'm talking about a regular office job, okay, which I was trying to go for. Now, I know some people believe, well, you have a bachelor's degree, you're qualified to do your job. Well, obviously, this proves the fact that that's not true, okay? Just because you have one doesn't mean that you are qualified to do your job. Like I said, it's more of a lot of people going through the motions and not really connecting the dots and understanding and that's really what matters. What matters is that you understand the function of the job. And so I was upset because it's like, I know several people, like I said, who don't have bachelor's degrees, who work in accounting. As a matter of fact, when I left the manufactured homes place, I think this girl, she got some training over here at a local job training center. So then this was her first accounting job, so she got to do whatever. And I kept thinking, okay, so obviously my goals don't matter. These stipulations are being applied to me and me only. I'm not a licensed professional. I know that I can't be a certified public accountant. I'm not delusional. I know that, okay? But in order to do like regular bookkeeping work, to work in an office, to answer phones, to assist and handle accounts payable and accounts receivable, that I've never heard of that. Okay, so somebody was basically trying to fuck my life over, and they did. They fucked it over big time. I was upset. I understand because I study. I have pamphlets here at the house, which I don't anymore. I threw them away because I realized my dream of being a CPA was never going to happen. So I threw that away. But I got information on steps on becoming a certified public accountant, the exams that you had to study for. I mean, I had all of that stuff, and I knew what I wanted to do. These people ruined my life, okay? They ruined it. So it's a bunch of big-headed egos, like I call them backseat drivers, that want to show you how to do certain things when you didn't ask them, okay? There are several ways that people get into accounting, or the jobs that they get into. Like, for example, some men who are welders, okay? Some welders probably are more successful. I think you have to have certain certificates, okay, to be welders. But some people obtain their certificates in different ways. Some people might work in, I don't know, certain office jobs or whatever, because I'm an office person, okay? And some people came right out of high school. Some people have 2 years of college. Some people have, whatever. But it's some people just were working while they were in I knew a girl who was working in high school. She was 16 years old, okay? And she met a friend of her family's, and they gave her a job after school, applying payments from certain customers, and she started working. And from that point on, she used that experience and kept moving and moving and moving and moving and moving. Okay, and some people went to tax schools, okay, and these sort of things. So everybody gets into these industries or these certain work. They accomplish these goals in different ways. And I knew that I couldn't be a certified public accountant right away. I knew that it was going to take rigorous study. I knew that. I fully understood that. But back in 2013, 2012, and all these years that these people monopolized and just totally sucked me dry, I had plenty of time to do these things. I was always under constant stress, always worried about my job, worried about, am I going to lose my job? Constantly, 24 hours a day. And these people destroyed my life. So I'm angry about that. So, you know, and I know that what they were saying and what these people were doing was bullshit. And that's why I can't forgive it. I can't. You know, I don't care if Stephen Lyles was behind it. Stephen Lyles had no right to do what he did. You know what I mean? And to me, I feel as though what actually got played out, I will consider it a hate crime. Because if I'm saying I don't want to do this and I end up getting these sort of jobs, then it's a hate crime. You know what I mean? And maybe it's a hate crime because his mom was putting him up to it. You know what I mean? And maybe because he doesn't have the intellectual abilities that he should have, he went along with it. I don't know what the deal is, okay? But these people had no right to be involved in my employment. And yeah, I'm scared every day because these people have left me to be dangling on the edge. I feel threatened, the very fact that my car is in the shop. My car is in the shop right now, okay? And I only get so much in my paycheck. And right today, I didn't make any money. And I'm not even sure if I'm going to make any money next week. Okay? So, and unlike my other jobs where I was making a decent enough amount to stay on payroll, I'm not making enough to be, you know, these people have pushed me to the edge, okay? And do they cough up one thin dime for any of my bills? They should be. They should be, but they don't. Okay? So these people who talk a lot and do very little, okay? And I'm very upset about it. And I will never get over it because these people destroyed my life. And why would somebody think that I'm going to would want to give up my goals? They forced me to give up my goal of being a certified public accountant. All I have is, I've been working in accounting since 1997. That's a long time, you know? And so I'm supposed to give up my, you know, what I do for a living because I wear a wig to work, because I'm trying to look presentable to work for an employer. That's discrimination, and it's stupid. It's very stupid. So I cut ties with everyone. Some people might say, well, maybe you can get a job and maybe you could have a friend help you. I don't have any friends. I don't have a single fucking friend because everybody who did this to me proved themselves unworthy of me. I cut off ties with every single last person who fucked my life over, and rightfully so. Okay? So I'm like basically trying to figure out how I'm going to get out of this bullshit. You know, and I kept telling these people over and over again, please don't do this, please don't do this, and they continue to do it. Tell me that's not harassment, and I don't care what the reason was for it. You know what I mean? I'm in shock. You know what I mean? And every day I wake up in the middle of the night and I worry, and I worry. And I feel like I do have to worry because when somebody dangles your life and puts you this close to the edge, where you're working 5 hours a day, and you have expenses, and you're driving a car that really needs a lot of repair work, and they let you get into these situations, and they take no responsibility for it. My God, it's no wonder why her husband killed himself, because she screwed him over. She probably was running her mouth over and over and over again, and pointing the finger. First of all, I want to say this, okay? Now, I don't think he should have did what he did, okay? But if she's fucking 3 of her sons, okay, maybe he felt unloved and wanted to find somebody different, okay? Maybe he wanted to have some sort of affection from somebody. I don't know what their deal is, okay? But I will tell you, there's a similarity between what this bitch did to me and what she did to her husband. I hold her fully responsible and accountable for what happened to that man. Oh, yes, I do. I will. And I will always do that. Because that's a lesson to be learned, okay? And that's a good example of how quickly religious people will turn on you. We don't know why people do the things that they do, okay? People commit sin all the time, all right? And it's not for a man to judge why people do what they did. And I'm not saying he what he did was right, okay? But I tell you what, if I was a dude, I'm trying to put myself in other people's shoes, okay? If I was a man, okay, and I had my sons, and I had a wife, and my wife was fucking my kids, I would probably feel a little inadequate, okay? And I don't know, if I was a dude, I would think, man, it would be kind of nice to have love from somebody who cared about me and maybe have some mutual feeling. I don't know what his deal was, okay? Whatever, it's none of my business. But she's putting me in a situation that's very similar to what she put her husband in, is what she did. I can't forgive that. I will not forgive that. And it's no wonder that I felt like my life was being threatened when I started feeling this way, and I really felt like my life was threatened back in 2014. I didn't quite understand who was behind it all, but now I do, okay? This is the kind of bullshit, and this is exactly why this shit's illegal. Exactly why, all right? And this man killed himself because he couldn't find employment, because everybody turned against this man, just like everybody turned against me, thinking that I was some sort of whore or something like that. I didn't do a goddamn thing wrong, all right? And I'm not entirely sure if this man did anything wrong. Now, I know what the Bible says. If somebody walks outside of the bounds of marriage, if they have an intimate relationship with somebody else, okay, then basically it's up to that person to forgive that person or not. It's up to the other person if they're going to forgive that person or not, okay? I don't know, okay? But if that's the scenario, who is she pointing the finger at? I think she's a wicked woman. I really do. I think she's a wicked, evil woman. And I don't like having her involved in my life. So she needs to back the fuck off. And I'm sorry that her son lacks the mental abilities to see what his mother really is. That's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. But it's not my problem. As of now, get the fuck out of my shit, okay? It's as simple as that. Get the hell out of my shit. Do not touch my shit. I don't want anything to do with these people, okay? It's unfortunate, you know? And I'm trying to hang on to the memory of the sweet-faced guy that I saw in high school. I understand what my dad meant about catching up with people that you haven't seen in a long time, because you never know what they turn into or what you're going to find out about them. You know, I will tell you, when I was in high school, the crush that I had on this man, it was a beautiful time. I wake up in the morning and I can just feel like the birds singing, sun's up. You know, it was a very magical time, having those feelings. It was a very special time, something that I think you can only relate to when you're that young, you know. Very beautiful time, I will say. But this whole issue is too goddamn fucking weird for me, okay? Too weird, okay? And something I didn't ask for. And, you know, like I said, if I'm wrong, all apologies. But if I'm right, which I believe that I'm right, okay, I'm very intuitive, okay? I can put a lot of things together, especially since I've been thinking about this for a very long time. And I can put things, you know, trace things back from this happening, this happening, this happening. So what the fuck else could it be? Okay, I'm an insignificant person. Yeah, okay, I do have little trippy psychic talents, okay? Sure, I'm whatever. But I'm a person that pretty much minds their own business. I don't do anything in this town, okay? You might see me walking down the street to pick up groceries, and you might see me at the 99-cent store. I might be hitting the thrift stores or something like that. But I don't cause a ruckus. I try to keep a very low profile, okay? So what else could it be? And women typically do get targeted for having a secret admirer. And the reason why I was treated I was getting these jobs arranged in jobs that I would never choose in a million fucking years. And they were always the opposite of what I wanted. It seems like a hate crime. Now, who feel hatred towards me? Somebody jealous. Okay, there's obviously my siblings, okay? But if it's his mom probably felt that way. And the only way a woman really feels that way, it feels like the kind of hatred that a woman feels when she's jealous and protective of her sexual partner. And so, boom, you know, I put things together. You know, hey, I don't want any of your weirdness, okay? And, you know, it's so sad because, like, there are some, you know, I look at people, okay, and I can recognize beautiful people. Some people have beautiful facial features, you know, they're just gorgeous people. Like, there's little kids, you know, that you can tell they got pretty little faces or little delicate faces. Or you see some men, like, I forgot what his name was. He's a singer. He's a singer and he also plays piano. I cannot remember his name, okay? But he looks like he could be like a Greek god or something, okay? He's got this thick hair and these chiseled features. And no, I mean, I'm not like in love with the guy, but you know, you see somebody who's beautiful and you think, God damn, you're beautiful. These people were fucking beautiful. Okay, they're fucking beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful people. Physically. Okay, physically beautiful. Chiseled features, the eyes. I think two of the brothers had blue eyes, and I think Stephen had brown eyes or whatever. Very good looking people, okay? But nothing in their heart chamber. Nothing. That mother is fucking goddamn wicked, okay? So fucking wicked. You know, that I think, you know, hey, Karen Johnson, you assisted this person. Get her the fuck out of my shit. And as soon as possible, okay? I'm not, you know, it's unfortunate. It is. Because, you know, those precious memories that I had as a teenager were some of the things that I reflected on when I felt really down. You know what I mean? And it's sad because, like I said, when you're gangsta up, it wipes every goddamn thing out of your head. It's like you have nothing to hang on to anymore. So thank you for fucking my life over, Karen Johnson. I'll be back with another video later. Bye-bye.